Hello, friends, and welcome back. So, today we are going to be doing kind of a podcast like episode. I don't know, I've been wanting to do this for quite a while and haven't gotten around to doing it. So, today, I don't know if this is going to be a series or anything, but this episode we're going to be talking about all things YouTube. We're going to be talking about my YouTube journey, talking about motivation, where I get my inspiration, along with the pros and cons to YouTube and the actual reality of being a creator. Um, so yes, I'm just gonna start out by saying it that YouTube is not what people think. Like when first starting out, like you obviously have like a perception and like kind of like your judgment of like how being a YouTuber is like. And to be honest, at least for my case, I was I was completely wrong. So yeah, so we're gonna be talking about that today. And yes, so feel free to get up, get a coffee, get some snacks, whatever tickles your fancy. Oh my god, I hate that saying. And with that, let's just get started. So yes, and in the background, while we sit down and chat over coffee, I'm gonna be downloading some custom codes because I just decided that for Tabbyland, I don't have any build ideas for actual houses or any in-game buildings, so I just kind of feel like doing it on a slumber island would be much easier. Since I don't have to grind and like get all the villagers, see truffles, and just get all the furniture items. Like I don't need to like grind in that sense. So yes, and with that, let's get started. Okay, so I have all the topics just written down on my phone just so I don't forget. So we're going to be talking about how I evolved on YouTube, how I started, like my whole story, and kind of what I was going through as I was going through YouTube. Um, and then we have like kind of like my breakthrough on YouTube. Then we're going to be talking about how I maintain motivation, how I find my inspiration, and then the positive and negative aspects to the reality of YouTube. So yes, just to start off, we're going to be starting with my YouTube evolution and like kind of like my, I don't know, my story with YouTube. So yes, and also a little disclaimer, I have had previous experience on YouTube. I'm not going to reveal the channel or anything. That channel is like in the grave. Only got like 200 subscribers, so not bad, but um, yeah, so pretty much, I don't exactly remember why I wanted to start. The main reason I wanted to start in the first place was just that I wanted to document all my builds and whatever and like kind of have a space to look back on it. Similar to Instagram, but like I wanted to see my building process, if that makes sense. So yes, just essentially I wanted a place to like look back and just kind of reflect on my builds. So I believe it was around October 2023 where I started my channel. I released my first video, and honestly, I was kind of nervous because, I haven't done YouTube in so long, so I was just nervous, and like I didn't know what to expect either, so I was just like, ugh, um, but it was just fun. It was fun building, and like it almost pushed me to like do good builds for my audience. I mean, for the audience I had, it was probably like two people. But still, it was fun to like try it out, and it was a good like hobby. It was just fun at first, and I feel like it was time consuming, which was something that kind of surprised me at first, was how much time it takes to like not only film and like come up with like a build and stuff like that, but also like the editing, um, brainstorming for like titles and making thumbnails and just like all of this stuff. It's very time consuming, but I thought it was really fun. So this was on my what island was it? It was like my fall autumnal Japanese island. Fall autumnal, oh my god. So yes, it was that island, and I don't know, I started in the middle of the island, so it wasn't like a full series. I probably only did like 4 or 5 builds. And then I just ended up resetting, which of course. So I did this island for a couple months, I think. I think it was from October up until like December, maybe even January of 2024. So I finished the island and then I reset, of course. But I think I just like lost motivation because I didn't know how to film um, videos in like a Let's Play style, you know? Like I wasn't my content was so bad. I wasn't even putting text in my most of my new videos. So I feel kind of tempted to hide them sometimes, but I don't even know. So I get burnt out, kind of, or like not exactly burnt out, but I don't know how to like film videos at this point that are not builds. So I just kind of don't, and then I kind of just like, I don't know, there was just a time of like nothingness. I was just like on a break for like a couple months, and then I released a video. I don't exactly remember what it was, but it was like re-establishing like what I'm gonna be doing. I'm like in this new era, whatever. And this is a moment where like I'm actually gonna be doing like gameplay builds, gameplay like videos. Guys, I swear I'm drinking coffee right now, but you can't tell at all because what the heck. But so I do that, and I feel like this was a moment where I was just focused on like the views and like growth and stuff like that. So I get kind of burnt out, so I just kind of like stop because my views were just tanking and like they were just getting lower and lower with every vid. And I was just like, ugh, like this is not good. Like I only had like probably 20 subscribers at the time and like I didn't gain anything from those videos. So I was just like, oh, this is such a waste of time. Obviously, I was new. I didn't really understand how it really worked, but so I went on another break. I was away for a long time. I think I was away for like 6 months maybe. So yeah, I mean, we were not looking good. Of course, I wasn't growing. Um, and then I believe it's around October again. It's like pretty much a whole year after I even started YouTube. Um, and I was just like, okay, you know what? I kind of want to try this again, but I'm gonna change my mindset. Like, I'm just gonna be like focusing on the content itself, making sure it's good, and just like having fun, you know? I wasn't posting on a schedule like I was before. So I just wanted to do it for fun. And I mean, at first, it was kind of hard because like it was a lot of gameplay stuff and like I kind of had to relearn how to like film videos and like edit efficiently and stuff like that. Of course I knew how to because I had prior experience, but I don't know, I felt like I had to kind of relearn how to do most of this stuff. How to make good like thumbnails and stuff like that. Um and like I don't know, I was kind of working from ground zero because I didn't really have much built up like on my YouTube channel and it had been a year. So I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna like I'm just gonna do like kind of a different style of content. So that's when I kind of enter like I'm putting more effort into this like cozy, but I'm making it like I'm being fully myself and like chaotic and all of that stuff. So, I'm getting a couple videos in, and I feel like the topic of like my breakthrough kind of comes in like right now, even though it's kind of a part of my story. So I'm just gonna cover it right now. So this is the island Kurai, the island that I'm talking about, where I kind of changed my mindset and kind of came back to YouTube and whatever. So I started doing a couple builds, and like my engagement is much higher, my click through is getting better, my views, my subs, all of that. It's starting to like actually grow. Um, and I don't know, I was just focused on like the builds and like making sure my builds were like good, you know? Honestly, some of my builds on Kurai are not my cup of tea, honestly. Um, but I was just like I was actually walking in, you know? I wasn't expecting anything in return, which is why I stayed so consistent for so long and why I actually finished the Kurai series. But yes, after doing those builds, I started getting quite a bit of growth. So, which was honestly kind of surprising because I thought I'd be stuck low key. And I'm so grateful that I did Kurai and everything. And I'm so grateful for all the growth and all the help from other people that I've gotten. I'm truly so grateful because, like, I wouldn't still be here if it weren't for that. So, I mean, yeah, Kurai was an absolute staple for my channel, and I mean, okay, I believe it was around like the I don't remember what exactly the title was, but it was like one of my second it was like the second or third build I've done. It had to be like the sixth or seventh episode. That's not a 6-7 joke. Don't take that the wrong way. But like it was like probably like my seventh episode. Um and then it just like blew up overnight. And by blew up, I mean like it got like over 1,000 views. And I'm just like, oh my God, like what just hit me? Like, because like I didn't do anything different. Like it just like happened. And I was like so shocked. I was like, oh my God. Because like with my past channel, it just like progressively growed, But this kind of just like happened. It was like a wall. And then like the algorithm just picked me up. And it was so weird. I was like I mean, I was obviously really excited about it, but I was like, oh my God, like this is happening. Like this is a thing. Like maybe I can make this work? So then I keep posting like my Kurai videos. I mean, obviously, and my mindset has never changed. So I think by the end of it, I've accumulated like 200 subscribers, 2 or 300 subscribers from this whole thing. Um, and keep in mind, before I started the Kurai series, I've had like maybe 30 or 40 subscribers. In that whole year, I was either on break or just posting anything else. So, oh my God, I'm so sorry. If anything I say doesn't make sense, I sincerely apologize. Oh my God. But yeah, that was kind of my breakthrough. And then I believe after that, it was just a lot of like I struggled with keeping an island theme, I'm not gonna lie, because just nothing was sticking to me. I don't know, and this is a still case for today. I've taken breaks due to life. I've came back. Um, I've done Let's Plays. I've done collabs. Um, but I think another breaking point came, and this wasn't necessarily for like views and growth and everything, but just with my style of content, I released a Q&A kind of like as a voice reveal, but also like for everybody to get to know me because I didn't really do much. Like I kind of just talked about the build and like told, small stories that I came up with on the spot and like I didn't really do much like so I did that just kind of like for people to like actually get to know me because I haven't really done that at all. And like I wanted to use this as like a voice reveal. Um, and that led to another breaking point, which was streaming on Twitch. If you're an aspired content creator, just know this. Your first stream is most definitely going to be terrible, along with probably your first couple vids, because like you don't know really what you're doing. um, I definitely didn't really know what I was doing, and I still had prior experience. Like my videos, like in the beginning, were so bad. I didn't even have text in them. I didn't have a proper like outro, I don't think. So sometimes I'm tempted to like hide those videos and like put them on private or at least unlist them so people aren't like clicking on it. Cause like, I don't know, they're bad, I know. But oh my God, my first stream was so bad. I can't even explain it. It was so bad. I was going through so many tech issues, and it was on Twitch. I got so much advice. Um, I think it was like a villager hunt. I was, oh my God, I was humping. Okay. I was definitely not humping. Guys, I'm not like weird or anything. I promise I'm not weird like that. I was hunting for Tabby and like it was a good time. Like um we were we were hunting for Tabby and it was very difficult because I haven't had a ton of experience with like showcasing my voice and stuff like that. Like I didn't have a ton of practice, so it was just so odd. Um and it was just weird to like read the chat to like my chat. Like how streamers like kind of like read messages from chat and like talk about it. I was just like that was such a struggle for me. And like I was having such bad mic issues, but I mean something had to go right because I'm streaming like on and off just because of life, but I mean there's a reason I haven't given up on streaming. I thought it was the most fun thing ever. And yes, if you're new to like YouTube or whatever, or if you're struggling with like streaming and motivation, okay, what do we said that and I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Can you guys tell I've never ever done a podcast or like sit down and chat or anything? So I just say I just say focus on the fun. Like don't focus like on how good you're doing. Nobody, absolutely nobody is perfect. I still stream to this day and make YouTube videos and like I still have audio issues and still have buffering and still have tech issues and I stutter while reading and stuff like that. Like I still struggle. I'm not perfect. So but just focusing on the fun and just engaging, even if there's no one in chat, um, it's still fun just to like do it as like kind of like you're talking like how you build. And I don't know, this is a strat because even if there's no one in your chat, you could still make that into a video or like make that into content, you know? Just like by narrating what you do, if that makes sense. Like you could do that for further content, and that's low key like what I try to do. But yes, anyway, so that was another breakthrough, and just since then, we've done the Friendsgiving challenge, which was by Kaylee Games. Definitely check her out. We've done the disability awareness, which was by April Honey. Check her out. So those are the collabs I've done, which were so awesome. I'm so grateful to be a part of those. And then it was just a bunch of I kind of like tested out like the Let's Playing style, and honestly, I do really like it. It's a lot of talking, of course, but I do a lot of talking anyways, even if I'm streaming. So I've gotten kind of some experience with it, so I'm okay with it. But just like, and like, just like finding new themes, and like, I've restarted a lot, so I haven't had really a complete island since Kurai, but it's been fun. It's nice to like look back on the build since I don't have a DA for most of these islands, just to like look at these builds. Even if they suck, it's still fun to like look back on. Okay, and we're gonna move on to the next topic. So we've covered my YouTube evolution and kind of my breakthrough on YouTube. So we're gonna be talking about how I maintain motivation, which honestly I could talk about for hours, dude. Like I'm not even exaggerating. I've had kind of like a whole like journey with like finding motivation. So it's weird because in the beginning I rooted my motivation in growth, which if you're going into YouTube is not the strat because especially if you're like struggling with like mental health stuff and like you're just like not in a good mental place for that, like you're not going to grow a ton. So like I would never ever recommend putting your motivation into that and using that to maintain it because, if like a video flops, then like you don't know what to do. But yes, I've kind of struggled like in and out with this kind of thing, just like with motivation in general. I've struggled a lot just because there's been times where like I put all my motivation into my growth and like my consistency, and I was just let down a lot from that. And I feel like I kind of set myself up for failure because of that. So I feel like the biggest piece of advice is never to do that. I learned from my mistakes. I don't want to do that anymore. Um, so, I guess with this topic, I'm just going to talk about all the struggles I've had with it. So, everything I just listed before was a major struggle. I also struggled, like, something that affected my motivation a lot was comparison to others for sure. Like, I think I really, really compared myself to others, and not necessarily my building, but like, kind of also my growth and like I don't know, all these other creators just were so good at what they did and like they were absolutely thriving. They found like or at least from my perception, they like found their like style and like I'm just over here struggling. Like I'm still testing out and like finding what it means to have a filming style and like video style and stuff like that. So it was just hard because I kind of beat myself up a lot. And like I don't know. It was just hard because I didn't really have that much confidence in myself with my channel, which really affected my motivation and just seeing others doing well. I hope this doesn't sound like unsupportive or like I was being like jealous or whatever, because I wasn't. But I just did it from the standpoint that I didn't know what I was doing and I was kind of at a loss with my channel. I saw how others were doing so well, and of course, I was so, so happy and so proud of them. But I just like looked at what I was doing and I was just like, well, damn. Like I'm not doing that much compared to so and so person. Like I'm not doing that good. So I think once I dropped that, I talked to like some friends about it, some of my creator friends, and they've given me some really good advice. They've given me encouragement. Um, and then I realized that ultimately, like, growth doesn't really matter. Like, you're still your own creative person. You still have, like, I'm still unique to what I do. Like, my content should never ever be the same as anyone else's. Yeah, like if that makes sense, like kind of like not mirroring others, if that makes sense. Of course, taking inspiration from them, um, but never completely like copying them, like finding my own style. And I feel like that's why I was struggling before because I didn't know what to do with my content. So that was definitely a struggle for me. Um, yeah, and I think another struggle with motivation, and this is like more so less of a personal thing and more of like, or I guess it is kind of a personal thing, but I think doing everything at once. And what I mean by that is like, okay, like I'm gonna be so consistent with uploading. I'm gonna stream like 3 times a week. I'm going to post like 3 times a week. I'm gonna do all these islands. I'm gonna do all these series, do this island. I'm gonna do shorts consistently, like every single day this week. Um, I'm gonna be consistent on TikTok and Instagram and all this stuff. And I feel like just doing everything just made my motivation tank because I feel like there was nothing for me to be excited about because everything that was exciting me, I was already doing. And that kind of high kind of went down. So there was nothing I was excited about. Um, and I was also kind of forcing myself to do it, like when I really shouldn't. Like I was not in a good space to like do it. Not completely like I was mentally not in a good space, but I was just like, like I have a life outside of YouTube. So I think I was just having a hard time forcing myself. That created a lot of burnout and why I took so many breaks just in general. Not all of them were from burnout, but some of them were. And I don't know, I feel like I put my everything into YouTube sometimes, and then I completely fell off the face of the planet. I just like hit a wall, if that makes sense. And then I'm just like, oh my God, I never want to do YouTube again. I feel so tense whenever I do anything associating YouTube, like. So that was a complete tank for my motivation. So those were all the struggles I've gone through with motivation. So I hope none of this is like too like I hope like I'm not being too honest, but yeah, those were all my like main struggles. And I think how I maintained my motivation for the most part, especially when like coming back to YouTube, especially when I feel tempted to like do everything at once, like I'm so excited to do so many things and I have so many ideas, is just to take things slow and just to do one thing at a time, do one island at a time. I'm doing 2 islands right now, so maybe that's not that good, but just doing one thing at once, making sure I'm doing it well, and if it's no longer like I feel like I want to move on to something else, then like no shame, just restart. And instead of doing everything at once, I'm also being a bit more gracious, just like not completely forcing myself to do it. Although being consistent does, for me, mean to like still push yourself, even if you don't 100% feel motivated to do it. You don't need to be 100% motivated all the time when you're filming to do something amazing and to like do amazing builds and make amazing content. Like I've hit record and I'm just like, ugh, I don't feel motivated to do anything, but I still come up with amazing builds and like I'm still in good space to do it. So I'm not like forcing myself and burning myself out. I'm just like, okay, like you've been wanting to do this for a while. I know I don't 100% feel motivated to do it right now. Um, but once you start, you'll start feeling motivated and stuff like that. So just like kind of coaching myself, if that makes sense. And this doesn't work for everyone, but for me, it definitely helped out a lot. So there was that, which definitely did help with my motivation and kept me being pretty consistent. I mean, I'm not super consistent, but another thing that also helped was like if I have to miss an upload in like a stream, like it's not the end of the world. because I think that also affected my motivation a lot was like missing uploads. I became so frustrated with myself because like I know the way my brain works. If I miss a deadline, I'll just be so upset about it. I'm just like so disappointed. So I think just not learning how to not pressure myself into like if I miss like an upload, like it's okay if I upload a day late or like just miss an upload for a week. Like it's totally fine to do that if like either I'm behind because of life or I'm just not in good spirits to do it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And also, I think a good way to maintain motivation is also I don't know if there's like a better way to phrase this because how I'm gonna phrase this sounds kind of weird, but almost like kind of deprive yourself from making content. And what I mean by that is like not posting 24/7 and like not like almost like having a life outside of YouTube and like having like a thriving life. Like, I have a full-time job right now. Um, I have so many people around me right now. Um, so I don't want to like replace any of that with YouTube. I think those things should be on top for sure, over YouTube for sure. So I think if there's an imbalance, then like, I'm not gonna feel that motivated, almost like out of guilt, if that makes sense. So it was helpful to like feel satisfied with like my job and like social life, personal life, mental health, and stuff like that over content creation because I feel like if I was lacking in any of those, I feel like I was more prone to getting burnt out and not actually producing anything. So, if anything, if you're struggling to maintain your motivation, just go back to your roots. Go For me, go touch grass, go do something, focus on work if you're struggling with it and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I maintain motivation. So, and up next, let me check, is how I find inspiration. So, I feel like I've brought this up in a video before, or maybe a stream it was. I don't exactly remember. But how I keep my motivation is just by going back to the community and like seeing what my besties are doing on YouTube and like seeing their decorating style and seeing their videos and streams and how they build. Um, I think it's so inspiring just because everybody has such a different decorating method and style, and everybody's doing so many different themes. I think it's so cool just to like see that. And I also find inspiration by like I'm gonna sound like such a bandwagon for this, but like trying out what everybody else is trying. Um, like if everybody's doing a fall island, like I'm gonna want to do a fall island most likely. The Four Realms challenge. Oh my God, I forgot to mention the Four Realms challenge when I mentioned all the collabs. It's okay. So shout out to Nana A's Gaming and Princess of Pineapples for setting up that challenge and everybody else associated with that challenge. It was a super hard challenge, but it was super fun. But oh, why did I even bring that up? Oh yes, because everybody else was doing it, I wanted to do it. So I think if other people are doing it, like if there's like several other people doing like something, chances are I'm gonna want to do that and I'm gonna be inspired to do it. Also, just stuff like the typical, like looking at builds on Instagram. There are so many good creators on Instagram. Custom codes for islands. Also, just like inspo builds on Pinterest and like Discord and stuff like that. That's a good way to maintain motivation, or not motivation, inspiration for your islands. Now, the part that I'm certainly lacking in is maintaining my inspiration for islands because I reset so much and I just kind of like drop islands so easily, which I kind of don't like that I do, but I don't know. That's the only part I haven't figured out for myself yet, but it's okay because I get to experience a lot of new themes. Although, I don't know. I feel like I tend to like repeat the same themes over and over again. Like I have certainly done fall islands. I've definitely done tropical islands very similar to hibiscus. I've done Japanese islands twice on YouTube now. So I'm not that out there. I kind of like stay in like a little bubble of themes, which I kind of want to break out of. But yes, that's pretty much how I maintain all my motivation for my builds, my islands, also like how I make content. Sometimes if like there's like a funny remark in like the editing, I'm just like, ooh, maybe I'll do something like that, you know? Not copy them, of course, but kind of like make something that emulates it. That's kind of my own, if that makes sense. But yes, and then the final topic is going to be the positive and negative reality of YouTube. So I guess I'm just gonna get out of the way and just talk about all the negative stuff. So with YouTube, it's certainly easy to like focus on numbers and like how much you're growing and like your likes and your sub counts and views and all of this stuff. And I feel like that kind of I feel like that can leave you vulnerable to comparison, to burnout, to demotivation, to, all this stuff, um, which can, which could affect your mental health for sure, just like your mental well being. Um, Another con is you will get criticism, unsolicited advice, and even hate. So I guess I kind of have a funny story with hate. Um, oh, it had to be like probably one of my first couple videos on YouTube. I did a video and I guess there was like this code I used that I don't even know what it was. It was something that I didn't even really notice that was the code I only used. I used it like one time in the build, so kind of funny. But pretty much what happened was you see, I'm active on Discord, and I kind of use the self promo like sections on like people's Discords, and there was a server where I posted my video in the self promo thing. This person watched my video and then DM'd me and like almost came at me. They were like, I'm trying to remember exactly what he says. It's something along the lines of, you effing idiot, like, you used one of my codes, and, like, you didn't give me credit, and, like, you're such a witch. This creator actually called me a witch. I was actually kind of shocked. I was like, what? And, like, keep in mind, I was just starting YouTube at this point, and I was already out the gate, like, I mean, this guy like came at me and like cussed me out, and I was like, "Oh my God, like, is this for me? Like, what is happening?" I didn't know how to react, so I just blocked them and just try to move on. And I could say that with like all the hate you get. Also dislikes, like sometimes like and I was just like, dude, like I don't know what to say. Instead of leaving hate comments and stuff like that, just like don't watch the video. Like I don't know what you want from me. Just like don't watch the video then. And like even with decorating too, I think another thing people do, which is kind of annoying, is give unsolicited advice. So it's like, oh my God, like I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example. Like you use too many trees and like your style is so full and like I don't like it and like you should do this and all this stuff, which, thank you for the feedback. Um I just try to take it as like feedback, but also at the same time, it can be annoying. So just ignore haters, any unwanted, unsolicited advice, any criticism, stuff like that, if you know it's not true. Um, and just ignore it, like the block button is there for a reason. Like you can hide them from your channel. Like that is there for a reason. But yeah, that's probably one of the biggest cons out there is with hate, criticism, and unsolicited advice. It's definitely annoying. Um, but yes, it's free to ignore it and just to act like they don't exist and like their opinion doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter to you if they're leaving hate. Um, but yes, and I guess another con, I guess this is a con for me specifically, is that YouTube just takes a lot of time to maintain, especially if you're trying to be consistent and like you have an uploading schedule and stuff like that. It can be very time consuming and almost pressuring at times. So if you're going into YouTube, just something to keep in mind for sure. And yes, but the pros, there are so many good pros. I can't even explain it enough. For me, being a part of YouTube is also being a part of an absolutely amazing community. Um, the community that like I'm mainly a part of is just so supportive and like just like the Animal Crossing world in general is so supportive. I can't speak on behalf of all games and all genres and niches and stuff like that, but this is just a very loving, very supportive, very amazing community. I cannot say it enough. Also, another pro for me, which I kind of addressed in the beginning, was that I have a space to like, even if I reset, I could just like look back on and kind of like, I don't know, just like a gallery to just look back on and just like look at all my builds. Because I started this channel wanting to just document all of my builds for myself, you know, if that makes sense. So I definitely accomplished that, and it's definitely really fun to look back on. You meet so many amazing people throughout the community, very supportive. This kind of ties in with just like community, but just in general, like you actually do form relationships over on YouTube. Like, especially, I mean, you have to put yourself out there, of course, but you get to like meet such amazing people. I'm literally so grateful for all of my YouTube friends. Another pro is that you learn so many cool skills. Like you learn like how to film, how to like talk in front of a microphone, how to like have like personality on YouTube, how to like do all these things. You learn how to edit, you learn how to set up a microphone, which I still don't really know how to do well. So you have all of these tools that you could like learn so much off of, and it's just so awesome. And another pro, this was so huge for me, but it made me learn like not to be afraid of who I am. I'm just kind of like trying to be like in my unbothered era or whatever. Okay, I'm kind of cringing that I said that, but like if people criticize me, they call me too loud, they say my personality and my voice is annoying, like I genuinely don't care. Like actually you're annoying for saying that. I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. But yes, just learning how to display myself for sure. Um and how to highlight my personality in my voice because this is something I struggled with just in general. So that was a huge, huge plus for me. And also, it gives you something to do if you're ever bored. Like, there's no shame in trying. If it's not for you, then it's not for you. But at least you said you tried. You know. Um, but yes, those are all the major pros. I can't. There's definitely more pros and cons out there, but that's kind of like my kind of reality of YouTube and my experience. So yes, those were all the topics. I'm not sure if it's like sit down and talk about. Hi guys, so this is editing Hylian. I don't know, I didn't notice this before while doing this voiceover, but my mic just cut off like at the outro. So pretty much what I was gonna say was, um, feel free to let me know if I should continue these sit down and chat over coffee kind of situations, these kinds of videos, what topics I should do on the future, if I should have guests on the podcast. This isn't even a podcast, but like kind of, it's like an unofficial podcast. I don't even know. I don't know what it is, but these like sit down and chat over coffee videos, feel free, let me know. But yes, this is your reminder that you are loved and that you do matter. So make sure you take care of yourself and your happiness because you matter so freaking much. Shout out to all of you guys. You guys are all amazing. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, friends.